Hello guys, something different for you today. I thought I would do a Dwarf Fortress video since it is a game I do like a lot and I've wanted to do something with it for a while. If you don't know what Dwarf Fortress is, I wouldn't say it's an old game, but it's been around for quite a while and it's one of the original games that influenced Minecraft's design. But it's still in development to this day. It's constantly being worked on, and the graphics of it are, well, it's ASCII basically by default. I have a graphics pack though, so it looks moderately decent. Unfortunately, the Dwarf Fortress client doesn't support fraps into it, so I'm recording the whole desktop, so the frame rate might not be too great, but it shouldn't matter too much because of how low key the graphics are. We're gonna make a small world of medium. Keep everything medium apart from minerals put everywhere. Yeah, I keep everything medium because world generation can take a little while to do if you put everything up higher. So this is like the main overview. We're generating a world, the domain of hurricanes, our world is called. And that was going through the ages. It's generating historical figures, or events that happened throughout all these years. This game is very, very in depth. Like, we'll see it further on into the game, but I mean, it goes down to the nth degree in a lot of things, which is it's kind of like the trade-off. You lose out on cool graphics, but you get a game that's like so deep and rich with gameplay that's just, it's amazing some things that can happen inside of it. So it's a good game if you've got an active imagination. One of my first fortresses, when it succumbed to a goblin invasion, I was literally appalled at the carnage, where they had corpses laying in beds with blood strewn everywhere, everybody going insane and unhappy, and until it's the last person left, it was a child which was finally cut down by one of these goblin invasionists, should I say. So it's very, it can be intense at times. It's very funny, but as I say, you have to get over the fact that the graphics are almost non-existent. And also, a lot of people complain that the user interface isn't very friendly. It's not, I'll be honest. It's a lot of shortcuts. If you can remember which menus, what you want to do is under what menu, then it cuts down on the hassle of it. But it's going up to 250 years, which is a decent amount of years. This video will just be running through the world generating and setting up my 7 first dwarves, my embark dwarves, since that can take a little while as well. So yeah, Dwarf Fortress. The game looks a bit like better than this. This is just a main overview. See all these different symbols supposed to mean something. You can't really tell as well on the world overview map, but when you're actually in game, like, there'll be little dwarfs that represent the little dwarves. There'll be barrels that represent barrels. So getting a graphics pack like that does help a lot, whereas before it'd just be letters and numbers and ASCII symbols. So here's our world generated. The domain of hurricanes, which is a nice name. Everything's randomly generated. I love games where stuff like this is randomly generated. Every game's a new game. It's all random. Let's accept this. It'll just save the world. Takes a little while. And then we'll get to creating our little first party of dwarves to get our fortress started, hopefully. Actually no, first we actually select where in the world we want to embark to, which should be fun, I guess. Various definitions of fun. Although in Dwarf Fortress fun does mean... Let's go to start playing on our new world. There's an adventurer mode which you play as one single dwarf and you go through. It's like a RPG almost. I haven't played into that too far because it's difficult, and I much prefer the actual fortress overview, like actually managing a whole fortress of dwarves, which is similar to Dungeon Keeper, which if you haven't played that, then where have you been? Legends just gives you history over your world. You can look into notable historical figures, you can see events that have occurred. So here's our map. We want to go somewhere with lots of trees. We're not going to do anything crazy in this. Trees, woodland sounds good. Warm's good. Moderate vegetation, surroundings wilderness, that's pretty good. Clay, deep soil, shallow metals, deep metals, that's all good. We want to move this a little bit over here. You see on the left side. We want to move this so the stream is part of the map. So that small square is going to be where we embark. We can make that bigger or smaller, but default size is usually best. So that's pretty good. We've got a stream going across the top side of the map. I'll just check for elevation. Elevation's okay, I guess. 4 is medium cliffs. I usually prefer kind of flat areas, but this will do. Let's choose to embark. Yep, it's all good. And these are some default dwarf setups that come with the Lazy Noob pack, which is a great pack to get if you're just starting Dwarf Fortress, because it comes with loads of utilities, third-party apps that really make the game a lot easier to manage. But we will prepare for the journey carefully, which is basically set up ourselves. And we have 7 dwarves here with their dwarfy names. And over here we have all different professions and attributes you can increase. First though, we're going to press tab to go to our equipment and stuff. Copper picks, I'm planning on having 2 miners, so I keep 2 copper picks. Couple battle axes is not needed. I'm not starting with any warriors or soldiers, so we'll get rid of the battle axes, but we'll press N to go to training weapons, and we'll get a wooden axe for use for cutting down trees, which you wouldn't think that would be very helpful, but it is. We also want to get rid of 2 of the buckets, and also all of the splints, all the crutches, and the iron anvil, because that takes up a lot of points. You can often get that on the first dwarven trade caravan that comes through. So you'll get these set up. We want a miner. Let's just get 2 proficient miners. Start us off. I'm not going to bother. You can look at like all the dwarves. They've got this name. They've got when they're born. Got all the statistics and attributes, which are also random. So you get all the personality traits. Generally, they can give you an indication of what sort of job the dwarf would be good at. I'm not going to go into that much detail for this. So we've got the first 2 miners. Let's rename them. Customize, rename them. Mine and dig. These are generic names I usually use every time we start a fortress. We'll have our bookkeeper. We'll have our stone guy. We have wood. Farmer. And chef, I guess. These are the sort of professions I usually start with. Bookkeeper, we want record keeper, organizer, appraiser, judge of intent, and negotiator, I believe. Stone, we're going to go back to the top here. We want mason a little bit, building designer a little bit. I mean, these are all just what I'm doing. You don't have to do anything like this if you don't want to. It's all up to what you prefer. A couple points in stone crafting, and I believe there's another one somewhere. Is there another one? No, I do. Wood, we want carpentry, which is up top there. Carpenter, we want wood crafter a little bit, and we want have I missed it? Oh, woodcutter, right up the top above carpenter. I missed that completely. A couple points in that. We're not putting too many points in that because the dwarves gain skill as they do the tasks, and at the start it's not too important that they're awesome at what they do. Farmer, we want grower and herbalist. That's what they'll do. Chef, we want cook. And brewer, I'll put them to 3 points. If you look down the bottom, down here, we see 325 embark points left. We're going to use these over on the equipment screen. We're going to bring some more ale with us. Let's turn up to 50. Some plump helmet spawn, which is the main dwarven wine growing ingredient. And we'll take some more food with us, some dog meat and some lungfish. And then we're going to take some animals with us, nothing too big because they're expensive, yak calves and yaks and other sorts of things. We want those, some dogs. We'll get 3 female dogs and a male dog because dogs can make puppies. And we want, I'm going to have like 1 female and 1 male cat. Cats are good for getting rid of vermin, but cats make lots of babies, and further into the game if you have lots of cats that makes lots of kittens, and then they grow up to make lots of kittens, then you end up getting a slow frame rate as you get billions and billions of cats on your screen. But we'll take 1 of each. We can always butcher them to make cat meat later on if we get too many. And then we want some hens. Let's get 10 hens for laying eggs. Eggs for make good meat. What else should we take? You know, since we have 129 points left over, I'm actually going to take an anvil with us. Usually I wouldn't. Usually I'll just wait until the trade caravan comes along and trade some crap for it. But I'm going to take it with us, and let's just spend the rest of these 17 points. So let's see if there's any fun animals we can take. Goose, no. Ducks. Peahens, 1 humped calf, no. There's nothing really interesting. Let's just take some bunnies. There you go, we've got 13 female bunnies and 1 male bunny. Nope, that's wrong, that's the opposite way around. We don't want it like that. We want 1 lucky bunny and lots of female bunnies. So there's a dwarf set up and our embark point set up. You can also name your fortress. You can choose words like different compounds and stuff. I usually just do random until something comes up that sounds funny. Heat merchant. That'd do. And you can name your group as well. Let's try the paddles of drink. Yeah, that's amusing enough. And then we press E to embark. And then it take a little while to load. You have arrived after a long journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond your harsh trek. The wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all who did Gadan. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labour comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plough or hook. Provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it's spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings here ere the dingoes get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place. Fashathmal, heat merchant, strike the earth, and strike the earth we shall. And here we are. This is the world. This big space out here. It's a top-down view, if that makes sense. So look, we're looking down, and as you can move the camera up and down layers. See, the black is underground. And the green is obviously grass. As you go further up, there's less and less grass because we're on top of we're on top of a mountain or a cliff or something. And here in the middle is my caravan waiting. The game is paused currently. And that'll be it for this video. I hope this has been interesting, or shall be interesting as I do more videos, but next video we shall dig into the earth, we shall start our base up and get working on dying quick, probably. Until next time, thank you.